from Hudson Valley Bookkeeping. In this video, on our part 2 for QuickBooks Online setup for therapy practices, I'm going to show you how to import my custom chart of accounts. All right, let's get started. All right, guys, we're going to do part 2 of mental health practice in QuickBooks Online. Today, we're going to cover your chart of accounts. One thing I want to show you is this chart of accounts that I've created. And what we're going to do is import this into QuickBooks Online, and I will have a link so that you can download this and import it. But let's just go over what some of these things mean. This you're not going to worry about that much. This is more of a CPA entry. It's just don't worry about it for now when you're first starting. Security deposits, that would be something you paid that is owed back to you. That's why it's considered an other asset. Then we have owner's draw. That's money taken out of the business by the owner, and owner's equity. It's money invested by the owner. Okay. I think I'll actually put in one more. I like to have an owner's contribution. And then what I do is close out at the end of the year with the total. Okay. Copay and self-pay income. So we're going to learn how to make and post your deposits. So that will be anything maybe that comes in from a credit card or anything that you know is a complete self-pay or copay versus deposits that come in from insurance, usually EFTs. Refunds is like a contra income account. So that would always be a negative, but it'll show you how much money came in and if you had to send any money back. Credit card discount fees. This is the amount that the credit card company takes out of your deposit. Now it happens two ways. You can either have a deposit in full and then they take their fee. That's what QuickBooks Merchant Services does. But like Square gives you a net deposit. So if you had a $100 deposit and they kept $5, you get 95. So there's two different ways. We're putting these items up at the top of your profit and loss in what is called the cost of goods sold. We have an outside billing service. If you have a subcontractor, 1099 therapist, and if you do any transcription services. Then we move into overhead. Okay, these are all different accounts for things that are true business expenses, and they're just in alphabetical order. So you just see, and these where they have, these are sub accounts. So the general liability, health, malpractice, workers' comp. And then another thing is I organize this so that all of these office expenses are kind of under this, and we can close or pop open or close up or collapse your profit and loss. So there's all of these codes that we need to use, but they're really mostly, they have to do with the running of your office and overhead. Okay, again, payroll expenses. This would be only if you're a corporation really or an LLC treated as a corp. Otherwise, if you're taking money and you're a sole proprietor or an LLC, you will not take wages for yourself. But if you do have employees, they would go down here. And we're not allowed to put that up in the cost of goods. Okay. So then I made a section here. So if it's for you, if you're the officer of the company. Then I subbed out a couple things for professional fees, rent, supervision. We're going to keep that down here. So this is the chart of accounts I am going to import into QuickBooks. But once someone said to me, I imported your chart of accounts and now I have lots of extras. So the first thing we should do, I'm just going to show though, I don't have a bank account on here. I just usually add that later. So when in part 1, it came with all of these accounts, which we don't really want. So let's see if we can just select them. Some of them it won't let us. Let's see if we can just make them inactive. Okay, so there's 8 that they won't. And it's usually, let's see why. Some because at a sub account, payments to deposit is their undeposited funds account, retained earnings, fine. Okay, so then what we'll do, I don't know why. I don't see anything as a sub. Okay, entertainment, I don't even know why they have that in here. It's not deductible anymore. So why would they do that? Okay, and I don't know why. Like, so some of these we've got to get out of here. I'm going to pause this, but I'm going to take all of this out because I want to import my thing. So unfortunately, they created all of this and there's nothing you could do usually. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to take away this so I can import mine. Okay, so I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so we're down to the lowest amount of ones I could. It said some of them were default and I can't delete them. But all I was doing was clicking over here on the left and then batch actioning them to try and get them gone so I can import my account. The other thing to know too is you have this detail type. That is just QuickBooks, I don't know, trying to collect data. You don't need the detail type. It doesn't matter is my point. The account type is what really matters. So I went in and put the detail type here. And I'm working in a Google Sheet and I'm going to try and import it, which I've never done before, straight from the Google Sheet. So I'm picking my Google Sheet. Okay, so I have it picked, right? Then I'm going to say next. Oh, I'm not doing account numbers, so that's fine. I wonder if I have to turn that off. Okay. So let's see here. It's making me fix some. So I'm just fixing this detail type. Maybe I just didn't like it that I didn't want to be specific. Okay, and I'm going to say import. Oh. See, these are red. I like to put everything to the same thing. It's easier to make sub accounts if they're all in the same detail type. Okay, so it's saying that these were already there. I'm worried though, this was my parent account. So I'm going to, it says 56 were imported. Okay, fine. So now let's go look at it. And then let's compare it to this. Because the main thing was that we had office expenses and then all of these are subs. So this is great. See, all of this just came in, but it's really important that you, our insurance came in. Good. Oh, good. And look, cleaning, IT. So this is great. So there you have it. That is how I would use this as the chart of accounts. This is kind of like a curated list from many of my own clients. And it's mostly I mean, probably won't have medical equipment, maybe something. But these are mostly the expenses you should be using. I don't really think you should be doing meals because you are not going to take a patient out to eat, and meals are really only 50% deductible. I would also be careful with automobile expense if, especially if you are doing everything virtually. I'd be careful on that expense. And let me see what else. Everything else is pretty standard. Some other points I'll just make right now regarding using QuickBooks is it is not HIPAA compliant. You should be using this for your, the accounting of your therapy practice. Don't use this for billing, please. Don't put patient names in this because you are not HIPAA compliant then. All right, so this completes part 2. The next setup would be setting up a checking account and a credit card. And I'll do that in the next video. Please send any comments. You could just post them right in the YouTube comments, and then I'll try and answer your questions. And if you are interested in a private lesson or to let someone else handle your bookkeeping, please give us a call. All right, have a great day. Bye.